Welcome back to the podcast. Roll the intro.
Yeah, they call me a savage. How I'm putting in work. I hustle and grind, I put in the time, get what I deserve. Savage.
Yo, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro? Morning. How are you?
Good. We've got the cameras set up properly this time. Enough memory on the thing so it doesn't cut out. So it's been good. Oh, we've been getting a good amount of views, I find. It's not like we're trying to be Joe Rogan or anything, but I feel like we got a good community that are watching and a few more comments coming through. And yeah, you guys in the shadows, come on, send us a comment, little like and that. So if you have any questions, we're always in the comments. I'll be probably doing more of the commenting because it's set up sort of on my accounts. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like that because it sort of gives us some feedback on what's going good.
Feedback's always good. Yeah,
and then we know what to do for the next podcast or, all those things. Still trying to get it up on Spotify. Haven't even looked into it, to be honest. Just the audio. It's just another thing to add to our list. But our list, will be a good thing to add to.
How is your phase one going?
Yeah, good. Struggled in my first weekend, long weekend. Yeah. So my normal routine in the weekends is no training, just in that different routine of family. So that was a struggle. Even the water, I had not drinking any water the whole day, so I had to pump 4 liters in the afternoon. It was torture because then I was pissing all night and everything. So
I'm feeling pretty good, eh?
You've got it sussed. You've done what? How long?
I've done 75 hard. So that's I've done 84 days of pretty much doing this.
Nearly 3 months worth.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I found a really good zone, man. I get most of my stuff done in the morning. So that morning period is pretty busy for me. But then I get to the afternoon, I just sort of taper down and relax. It's good for the brain. And I'm finding, like I said, getting the stuff done in the morning, I'm able to spend a bit more time on myself in the afternoon or with my family.
Yeah, I find when you, Monday to Friday, I can pump it out for 12.
Yeah.
Or weekends, I was just so out of whack. I was like, man, I'm so organised.
I thought so.
Everything was late Arvo's finishing, and I was like, had to go out and do things. And then
even when you messaged me, I had a crack up, right? I knew weekends are pretty family orientated for you, but nice to change.
Still not an excuse.
Still not an excuse, bro.
Yeah.
Excuses. A lot of people have excuses, I think, when it comes to
that. And that's what sort of we wanted to talk about on this potty, and what excuses, the main ones we sort of hear and all that sort of jazz.
What's your main one that you always hear?
My main one is time. Yeah, I think when I speak to people, they're always saying, I don't have the time to do this. I'm very, very busy. And yeah, it's the biggest BS sort of excuse that I come across because we all have the same amount of time. I have people that are so much busier and they still get whatever I give them done. Mm-hmm. And that's like I think people are really bad at time management. Yeah. And that first excuse, if you're saying you got no time, then obviously before starting something, it's a real big red flag for me.
I think it comes down to taking account to what you're doing, what you're spending your time on throughout the day. If you broke it down, I'm not good with maths or anything, but we've got 8 hours sleep. We wake up in the morning, have that time before we go to work, or if you're not working, you're staying at home with your kids or anything like that. Then there's those small blocks and periods throughout the day where you can figure out where you can do your program, where you can do, you can find some work or find some time to be able to spend it on yourself. And I think people don't understand that they're spending a lot of time on screens as well, man.
100%.
In front of the fucking TV. People spend 2 to 3 hours a day on their fucking screens. And
exactly.
if you were to maybe just block out half of that time and then spend it doing some training or doing some self-work, then you'd be able to get some work done.
Yeah, and you can stretch and you can walk, instead of listening to a podcast in front of you like that.
Yep.
Hey, maybe go for a walk and listen to it.
Exactly.
That's 45 minutes that you can get out of it. I know people do it in the cars and whatnot when they're coming back from work, and sometimes you just got to set aside that time. We got people use their family as excuses as well, but sometimes you can, I think with the family thing or friends, you can just communicate, hey, I need to get this done at these times, and they're not going to say, nah, don't do that.
And if they do,
Yeah.
oh, come on, guys.
New family, new everything.
Just remove the family from your life.
Hope our missus is not watching. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? You
Oh,
think?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point too, bro. I think a lot of people use that as an excuse. You know what I mean? It might, like, you know, it might sound wrong, but if you're not willing to be able to do the things to make you better, you know, individually, then, or if your family's not willing to help you become individually better, then I don't know, it's time to have that hard conversation with them, because, you know, if you're in pain daily because your body's sore, if you're, you know, maybe overweight, if you're stressed out and you need to get this stuff done in order for you to feel healthier and better, you need to communicate that with your family.
I think the family will understand
They
what you're
will,
doing
100%.
if you're not, if you can communicate it properly.
Yep.
Hey, darling, I've got this new thing I want to do. It needs this amount of time. Yeah, instead of what I probably would have done, I'll probably still do it.
I'm doing this.
I'm doing this. What? You're not supporting me.
Yeah.
You know, or with the kids and whatnot, the
Mm.
kids can jump in too. Like when they see you doing, that's another cool thing. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
I'm a really big believer in that. Your kids see you doing your exercise. You can take them with you. Sometimes, you know, with the little ones, it's a bit harder,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still have a little bit of fun as well. I remember I used to have Xavier just when I was trying to get pancake,
Tagging
Wait,
along.
jump on my back,
On your back.
push me
Yeah.
down,
Fuck
you know,
yeah,
all
bro.
those things.
That's mad.
And I think that's instilled in him as well. Like he sees me training.
Mhm.
So, okay, he's going to take on a
He's
bit of
taken
training
on,
himself.
Yeah, he's taken on board some of that stuff. You know, even when I see Xavier and, you know, we have that conversation, what are you doing for training right now? He's already got a good understanding of what to do and what not to do, or, you know, even having a baseline so
Yeah.
that when he gets older, he already knows what the fuck he needs to do, because he's got a mad dad and he's got a mad uncle too.
And he's not naturally into sports either. So he's more into the creative, like piano. He's done art and all those sort of things. But
The Pokemon cards too, bro.
Pokemon cards, killing it.
That's cracker, right?
Yeah, he's into Pokemon cards. So when he was young, really into the cartoon, and then just started watching the YouTube videos like
Yeah.
everyone does, and then sort of pushed him towards, okay, you know a bit about this. And he always watch the videos about the value of the cards, and he started to understand that as he got older.
Mm-hmm.
I went, you know a lot more than you actually do.
Yeah, yeah.
Like any pack or any card, you can pretty much name the value,
Break it down.
like
That's
without
fucking cool,
researching too. So he's made a bit of money lately. We've gone
Bit of a
Facebook
business.
Marketplace,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
do the
mad.
trading. He sends the cards in the through the mail as well, and I think it's a good skill because you can't get really taught that at school or whatnot, and it's a good little thing
Mm-hmm.
that he can do as well.
Another excuse, bro. Money.
Money, yes.
Huge one. What's your thoughts?
I just think if you audit where your money goes, you'll just be like, yeah, nah, I can invest in myself. And
Exactly.
I think when we speak to people, because we do the service side, our business is service. So we provide a service and then we speak to people, oh, okay, can you afford this? It's sort of about communicating the value that they'll get out of it. I try to communicate, okay, you're spending this amount of money here, this amount of money, and not like we're asking for big amounts either. So, you know, if you do this program, it's going to actually improve your life if
Yep.
you invest in it.
Yeah.
It's sort of the argument I give them back. And sometimes they do need a little push, and sometimes people just don't even realize.
Yeah, don't realize what they're spending the money on. Like,
But as a coach, for
Yeah.
coaches watching, sales is like
it's
hard.
fucking
'cause you
hard, bro.
Sort of got to push them
Well,
a little bit.
I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I've come up to that speed hum a lot. You know, I'm very new to this online game, but at the same time, I'm sort of understanding it from your point of view, because you're obviously, you know, leading the charge when it comes to this stuff. And that's the stopper every time. You know, I can't financially afford this. You know, I don't have enough money. And I think it's like, this is a good point to make. I think it's an understanding. You need to audit yourself first. And then at the same time, people just need to understand what the fuck they're spending their money on. Most of them spend money on the dumbest shit that they don't need to, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, if you're going and buying Macca's once a week, that Macca's can be pulled aside and you can spend it on something that's going to make you better. You know what I mean? So that's where my thought process is on that. And Yeah, money's just another excuse, man. We can find money doing anything. If you need to go and fucking jump in an Uber car and drive once a week to become or to get yourself into a program that's gonna make you feel better, then you should be doing that shit.
Yep.
You know, just being able to find the resources you can to be better. That's the most.
And most people don't even need a second job. They just need to go, okay, this is
just
the amount that you need. Okay, this is where my money's going that way. Okay, I spent like one shout of beers, you know, after work.
Oh, bro.
Or just buying your lunch
man.
at work.
Cutting back on coffees.
Man, Sydney's expensive. You go out with a family for a day, man, a couple $100 like that.
Have you fucking spent money in Byron Bay, bro? Holy shit. $100 a meal, every meal.
Yeah, I spend $100 with my family any meal I go out with. So,
oh yeah. Anyway, and I think the last one's you might be able to touch base on it, but your partners, my partner won't. Your partner won't let.
I got to check with my partner.
Got to check my partner. That's the one I'm looking for. Fuck.
I hate when men say that because it's just like, I don't know if it's just their little excuse, but you sort of have to have that under control as a male. I think as a, grow some balls sort of thing.
Grow some balls, bro. That's all I wanted to say in the first place.
Yeah,
grow some balls, man.
And then I think, if that is a problem, just communication with your partner. Okay, I think they'll support you anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
Feeling this sort of pain, or I need to get back in shape. If you communicate that up front and this is what it's going towards, I think most people will be understanding in that, don't you think?
Yeah.
The worst one I had to bring up as well was the guys have been telling me they've just had kids and they haven't had the time and they've just been so busy. I'm like, bro,
you didn't have the kids.
Exactly.
Shit, man, you're not looking after the baby. Like, this is, I can speak from that point of view too, bro, because I've just had a child, how old's Carter now? He's 10 months old. And like, I'm not saying that I'm using that as an excuse or anything like that, but it is hard, but at the same time, you just got to find that space and time to be able to give back to yourself. And that's what I'm doing for myself. And I know that when Carter gets of age, that, what I'm doing right now is going to benefit him anyway. So you got to have that mindset going into it. And during it too, when it's hard, when your partner or when baby needs some thing, you need to be able to find that balance, which is always important.
And how much value are you giving your family if you're in pain all day or out of shape anyway? Like,
none, bro.
Yeah.
None. And I think like now, and even like hanging out with you, bro, quality over quantity. You know what I mean? How much time you're spending with your kids. Are you actually spending that quality time with them? Or are you just like on your screen?
Yeah, I've had that excuse too. Like, I like to spend time with my family, but I'm really like, are you really spending that time or are you just mucking around?
Once again, auditing what you're doing, and being very, very aware, super aware of brings me back to our journaling, bro. That's why it's so important to journal, because you can take account of what you've been doing for the last 30 days, 75 days, 1,000 days. If you take account, you actually get to see where the energy's being put. You'll find that a lot of the energy is not where you think you're putting it. So it's a good point, man.
As a coach, like, not sugarcoating. It's just giving them the tough love that they actually need. Like, if they're going to get offended, they're going to get offended. Yeah. But that's not my job to, sugarcoat things for you.
Accountability, bro.
Exactly.
That's our job. Our job is to keep people accountable, provide a service, and then make sure they get the fucking results.
Yeah, because everyone's got the exercises. Everyone's got the knee exercises. Everyone's got the mobility exercises. They're all the same out there. Like, you can YouTube and just go blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing, but they want accountability and we're going to give it to them. And, like, fuck sugarcoating anymore.
Nail on the fucking head.
But that's also for us. Sometimes it's hard to tell them, and they're sort of giving you the excuses like, pull finger.
Yeah, pull finger, bro. Like,
even athletes, like, they say, I got this.
Some of them can be the worst, bro. And that comes down to, like, I found that a lot of them, the self-talk too, bro. I think it's a big issue that we're having to deal with. Like, a lot of guys actually, before they even have a conversation with us, they're beating themselves up, Oh, I'm not actually, I'm not good at this. I'm actually stiff like this all the time. I'm like, mate, what you're saying to yourself is what's happening, so to speak. So, yeah, it's a good one.
Which we wanted to speak about is the
identity. They've been able to change that identity of yourself.
That language, which starts with your language, how you speak to yourself, how you speak to others.
Yep.
For example, a lot of clients say to me, I was born stiff. I was born tight. That's just how I am. Okay, if you're gonna speak to yourself that way, you got zero chance of improving.
Zero chance.
And you're just gonna find ways and excuses to confirm what you're thinking
Exactly.
and what you're saying.
Yep.
So that's why excuses never serve us as people, as human sort of beings, because if you keep telling yourself that, you'll find confirmation out there. Confirmation bias is the technical term of why you're that way. So I think everything starts at language. That's why goal setting is important.
Yes.
Starting with your goals.
Yeah, bro.
Gratefuls.
Gratefuls, affirmations, like we did the other day. That's another good point too. That's really cool, bro. And I think it's important for people to, you're still gonna have that self-talk, I believe. We're programmed from everything that's happening around us to sort of be negative in some ways. But if you've got if you're like me, I need to write all my shit down. I need to write down my gratefuls. I need to speak out. Now I'm starting to realize my affirmations daily and doing my visualization and shit. And if you need to get that stuff done, just to drown out that negative talk about yourself and to maybe hopefully change that identity that you have, then why not do it? And at the same time, what's the point I was going to make? I forgot my point, bro, but continue on.
Sometimes the first step is awareness of how you're talking to yourself internally when you're not speaking it, and then having conversations with. That's why it's shit having stud mates.
Yeah,
the ones that are always there to listen to your excuses, and they're like, that's the reason why.
I'm the same, bro.
Yeah, I'm the same. That's why. Nah.
Shit else.
Like all those. That's why your people around you are super important, because if you're always having those conversations with your mates all the time of I'm so down on my luck and this is why I'm this way, and they're agreeing I know, and blah blah blah, you sort of got to
cycle
keep that awareness of how you're speaking to your other people as well. I think I think over the last 5 to 10 years I've been really aware of those sort of conversations and just picking it up, and naturally even listening to people's excuses themselves, and
man,
it's tough.
It's tough as fucking hell, bro. That's the point I wanted to make before. So when you're looking to change your identity and you find it hard with that self-talk, that's why it's hard. It's really important to create good habits. Like you create good habits, then you start ticking off boxes, which is important for us as humans, and then you start believing in yourself a little more, that self-esteem, that confidence. You start building self-discipline, which is what I'm doing right now. We're doing phase 1. We're doing phase 1. So it's super important to understand that, that self-talk is always, most probably going to be negative at the start. But then as you start slowly building momentum and you start hitting the stepping stones one by one, then your mentality starts changing. And that's when you start getting good results. That's the point I wanted to make before.
Another thing, I think a tip around that self-talk is don't go too far ahead of yourself, because sometimes the negative voice will come in and call bullshit on that, and then it'll show you all the reasons why. And that's just bullshit. It's like some little voice in your head goes bullshit. So starting not too far away. So if you're 200 kilos and then I'm a ripped up 6-pack person, and they're like, nah, you're full of shit. Say maybe you can start off, I am exercising every day to improve my life. Might be a lesser step, instead of trying to say I'm going to be the best bodybuilder in the world, which is that's just an extreme example to show. So just little steps at a time, and then chipping away each time and improving that self sort of image concept.
Yeah, man, I like that one too, bro.
Not saying like I'm going to be a billionaire, financial. It's all like spiritual, financial, emotional, all those things. Just not too far ahead. Say
too far fetched.
If you're just you don't even have a job and you're like, I'm going to be a millionaire, and then that's too far ahead of you. Say, hey, I'm going to firstly build my skill base up so I can earn enough money to pay my bills. Yada, yada, yada. I think that's super important, eh?
Yeah, I like that, because I think about my training now, man, and, I've always gone, because we've got that professional background, right? Training hard has always been embedded into us. And then I'm starting to realize by doing like 75 hard that my focus is always on the wrong thing. This is why I never fucking completed it before. And then being able to do those small steps. So I don't train too hard. The things that I do ain't that hard besides the sessions that I do with you on Tuesday and Thursday. But you continuously start building at it. And, you know, my goal, my first stepping stone was always 10% body fat. You know, if I can look good, then, you know, I'm obviously doing something that people can see and they want to emulate, want to be like. So yeah, that's a good point, bro. I like that one because I'm starting to realize that for myself doing the program.
Yeah, it brings me back to that quote: humans overestimate what they can do in the short term and underestimate what they can do in the long term. So we so short term thinking where, you know, we always want the result in weeks.
Yes.
Whereas, hey, let's try and get that habit working for years, and what you achieve in maybe think of 3 years as short term, 10 years as long term instead of 3 weeks as short term.
That's true.
12 weeks as long term.
3 weeks, bro.
I think that quick thinking and all the marketing's like blah blah blah, six pack in 6 days or
quick pills, eh?
Yeah, everyone wants that quick pill, but I think everyone's waking up to all that stuff now. There's a lot of good information out there and whatnot. So, what else we got to speak about?
That's it, my bro. I think.
Be careful how you talk to yourself, all that self-talk. I think a little bit on that identity. So all that language actually changes your identity and how you identify with yourself, which is probably the biggest thing. I think they have the saying, I don't know, I think it was an old school Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar, they call him. I think be, do, have. So you have to change your identity, which is the be. You have to do the right things, and then you can have the things you want.
Ooh.
So be, do, have is
got
a
some
good
fire for me today, cuz.
be, do, have, if you can think about it, and you sort of have to, it's a bit back to front because usually people think do first, then you'll be, and then you'll have the things. But then you sort of got to work on, I feel like the be, do has to work together.
Take notes, people.
You're giving that, I am a healthy individual. That's sort of like your be, your identity. Yeah. And then you do what a healthy person
does.
Yeah, does. And then you can
and
be,
you
do. And then the stronger that be is, the more you'll do, and then the more you'll have. I'll finish on that, baby.
Finish on that shit. Holy shit, bro. Nice. I like that one.
Done and dusted, bro?
We do have done and dusted.
That was good.
Shot, Cuzzy. Done. Thank you.
Yeah, they call me a savage. How I'm putting in work. I hustle and grind, I put in the time, get what I deserve. Savage.